Juneteenth, the same day this country commemorates the end of slavery in the U.S. The president now appearing to threaten protesters who he believes may try to disrupt the event. A long line of supporters already there waiting, waiving their right to sue if exposed to the coronavirus. Meantime, tonight, the new warning this evening from the World Health Organization that the coronavirus pandemic is accelerating. The CDC now predicting up to 145,000 deaths in the U.S. by July 11th. Hospitalizations in Texas up 108% since just Memorial Day. And the major new move tonight in Houston and Dallas. Florida shattering its daily record for the 5th time this week. The Major League team shutting down its spring training facility after several players test positive. Tonight, the major development in the deadly police shooting of Breonna Taylor, killed when 3 officers burst into her home, shooting her 8 times. The mayor now revealing one of those officers will be fired. The interim police chief accusing him of firing, quote, blindly. Also tonight, news coming in the deadly shooting of Rayshard Brooks in Atlanta. Former officer Garrett Rolfe charged with felony murder, and now the new video tonight showing him in shackles and wearing a mask while being transferred for safety reasons. The battle between President Trump and his former national security advisor, John Bolton. Will the president be able to block the book? And the unexpected words today from President Trump's former acting chief of staff. What he said that made immediate news. And marking Juneteenth in America, the protests across this country in big cities and small towns, forcing the country to confront its painful history. And in so many communities, what's now emerging is an even greater meaning and desire to understand the tradition of today's Juneteenth holiday, marking the end of slavery in America. And tonight, right here, you will hear the powerful interview from so many years ago.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us as we near the end of another week together. And we begin tonight with the news from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Authorities there declaring a civil emergency ahead of President Trump's massive campaign rally there tomorrow night. Tens of thousands of supporters and protesters will be there. Tonight on this Juneteenth, when this country marks the end of slavery in the U.S., the continued push across this country for justice. In New York City tonight, people marking the Juneteenth holiday by marching across the Brooklyn Bridge. In Denver, they marched from the Martin Luther King Jr. Monument to the state capitol. In Oakland, California tonight, thousands showing up for a massive rally for racial justice. And in Tulsa, the scene of the worst race massacre in U.S. history, they carried an empty casket draped in an American flag. And about a mile from that location, some of President Trump's supporters are already gathering tonight, waiting for tomorrow night's rally, which originally had been scheduled for tonight. The president moving it, the White House saying, out of consideration for the Juneteenth holiday. And tonight, the president's message to protesters who he believes might try to disrupt his rally. ABC's Marcus Moore leads us off from Tulsa.
In Tulsa tonight, President Trump supporters lining up for blocks to get inside tomorrow's rally, some camping out for days.
We're here to support him. It's history. It's history in the making.
The event was first scheduled for today, Juneteenth, a date reserved to commemorate the end of slavery. After an outcry, President Trump postponed the rally to Saturday, later claiming in an interview with the Wall Street Journal that he, quote, made Juneteenth very famous, adding that nobody had ever heard of it. Today in Oklahoma, a march through what was once known as Black Wall Street, Tulsa's Greenwood district. This historic black neighborhood, the site of a 1921 massacre where a white mob killed at least 300 residents. Hundreds of homes and businesses burned to the ground. It sits less than a mile from Saturday's planned rally where up to 20,000 people could pack this arena. The mayor bracing for the crowds, declaring a civil emergency. The president today issuing a warning via Twitter, writing, any protesters, anarchists, agitators, looters, or lowlifes, you will not be treated like you have been in New York, Seattle, or Minneapolis. It will be a much different scene. This is Trump's first rally since the pandemic began. Oklahoma hitting a record number of coronavirus cases just yesterday. Those attending the rally required to sign a waiver, agreeing not to sue if they're exposed to the virus. But most supporters we met are not deterred.
I personally am not going to wear a mask. It's our option. It's our choice to wear a mask. I do trust my immune system.
I mean, we're talking about tens of thousands of people inside the BOK Center. Are you worried at all about the spread of this virus?
I'm concerned about it, yes. I've got to step out of my comfort zone and get here. It ain't just to support Donald Trump.
The White House says there will be temperature checks, hand sanitizer, and masks at the door, but there's no requirement to wear them. health officials are warning about the risks.
We have been spiking since last week. So, and I'm not talking like this, I'm talking like this. So it's going straight up, and all this can do is take us this way or that way, you know, over the top.
As city leaders in Tulsa prepare for a massive rally, thousands more celebrating Juneteenth and calling for change from coast to coast, from the nation's capital to Chicago.
This day, June 19th, represents freedom, it represents hope, it represents our future.
In Oakland, California, hundreds rallied. At the port, work halted for hours to protest racism. In Atlanta, crowds marched to the state capitol, and crowds marching across New York's Brooklyn Bridge.
And Marcus Moore back with us tonight from downtown Tulsa. And Marcus, I know the Oklahoma State Supreme Court ruling today on this rally.
Yeah, that's right. The Supreme Court here has denied a request to stop this rally. And David, there's a lot of energy here in downtown Tulsa tonight. We've seen speakers on megaphones talking to crowds that have gathered in the streets. And there was a 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew in place this weekend for downtown Tulsa. But the mayor says he has rescinded that order at the request of the Secret Service. David?
All right, so many eyes on Tulsa this weekend. Marcus, thank you. And we should note that as this country marks Juneteenth, the holiday that celebrates the end of slavery in America, the new push all over this country to learn more about our country's painful history. And a little later right here, what we uncovered from the archives, the interview, some very powerful words, and a very special note tonight about what will happen right here later this evening. But in the meantime, the news continues, and with concern there in Tulsa about people in close proximity because of the coronavirus, the World Health Organization tonight with that new warning of a, quote, new and dangerous phase we're seeing. And here in the U.S., the CDC is now predicting up to 145,000 deaths by July 11th. And tonight, in a sign of concern over the newest numbers, Apple is now closing 11 stores in Arizona, Florida, the Carolinas. In Clearwater, Florida tonight, players and staff testing positive at the Philadelphia Phillies spring training facility. In fact, Florida breaking its 5th record in just a week, more than 3,800 cases in just the last 24 hours. So many of them young people. And new action we're learning of tonight in Dallas and Houston. And ABC's Kaylee Hartung from Texas tonight.
Tonight, the World Health Organization warning the pandemic is accelerating and entering a new and dangerous phase. For the 5th time this week, Florida shattering a daily record, 3,822 new infections, and many of those are young people.
I think that we've started to see, some erosion in the social distancing from probably some of the younger population.
Apple tonight closing 11 stores in 4 states, including Florida, due to the uptick in cases. The Philadelphia Phillies shutting down their spring training facility in Clearwater after 5 players and 3 staffers tested positive. The CDC is now predicting up to 145,000 COVID deaths by July 11th, as hospitalizations are rising in 17 states, including Texas, where they're up 108% since Memorial Day.
People are walking around without face masks. They're getting close together. If we don't take precautions, we're going to see a spike, and we're seeing one right now.
Dallas County and Harris County, which includes Houston, now making masks mandatory in all businesses.
The idea is to see this as a no shirt, no shoes, no mask, no service.
Marcy Guest, volunteering on the front lines in a New Jersey hospital for 8 weeks, returning home to Arizona, and her husband and their 3 young children.
Unfortunately, it went from leaving one hot spot to going to another.
That state now seeing record hospitalizations too. She says when she got back, she was shocked by what she saw.
Hardly anybody had masks on. People were not socially distant. What will it take for people to realize that the virus is real?
Governor Andrew Cuomo clearing the way for New York City to enter phase 2 of its reopening, delivering his final daily coronavirus briefing.
It's clear that over the past 3 months, we have done the impossible.
Governor Cuomo today, after a very long run, addressing the people of New York on a daily basis. Kaylee Hartung with us live tonight. There's also news coming out of New York City tonight from the fire department about the number of heart attacks they've seen during this pandemic.
Yes, David, the New York City Fire Department is saying they responded to nearly 4,000 cardiac arrest calls this spring. 90% of them were fatal. They say April 6th was the worst day with 305 calls coming in. That's when the average is 40 to 50 calls a day. So the FDNY believes another 3,600 deaths were the result of coronavirus, but few, if any, of those patients were tested. David.
All right, Kaylee Hartung, who has been covering this pandemic for us from the start. There is also news tonight in the Breonna Breonna Taylor case, killed by police in Louisville in March. Tonight, the police chief is moving to fire the officer who fired 10 rounds into Breonna Taylor's apartment. She was shot 8 times. Here's ABC's Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas tonight.
Tonight, one of the 3 Louisville officers who stormed the home of Breonna Taylor fired.
Where's the emergency? I don't know what's happening. Somebody kicked in the door inside my girlfriend.
Officer Brett Hankinson terminated today, accused of firing 10 shots the night Taylor was killed in her home, as police were serving a controversial no-knock warrant for someone else. Authorities saying Officer Hankinson showing extreme indifference to human life as he wantonly and blindly fired into Taylor's home. Taylor, an EMT with dreams of becoming a nurse, fatally shot 8 times.
I think it's insane. Why would you want to enter into a home in the middle of the night without announcing yourselves?
An attorney for Taylor calling for the other officers to be fired and prosecuted for their roles in her untimely death. Today, the FBI back at the crime scene, gathering evidence as the Justice Department conducts a civil rights investigation. Taylor's case sparking protests in Louisville and around the country.
Say her name!
Intensity about Taylor fueled by the tragic and horrific deaths of George Floyd and Rayshard Brooks. Today in Atlanta, we see Officer Garrett Rolfe charged with felony murder in the killing of Brooks at a local Wendy's. This video showing him being transferred in shackles, wearing a face mask. Authorities moving him for safety reasons. Tonight, witnesses of the shooting continue to speak out.
I got out of my car and I walked around the building and I saw Rayshard laying motionless on the ground.
David, today the Fraternal Order of Police, one of the nation's biggest law enforcement organizations, sharply criticized that Atlanta prosecutor, accusing him of unfairly rushing to charge that officer. David?
Our Chief Justice correspondent, Pierre Thomas, tonight. Thank you, Pierre. There was also a major new development in the investigation of the Navy captain who was relieved of duty after he sounded the alarm about the safety of his own sailors, so many of them coming down with coronavirus on the USS Theodore Roosevelt. Well, after talk that he might be allowed to return to his post, tonight, the Navy now saying it will uphold his firing. Here's Kira Phillips.
He was famously cheered by his sailors as he left the carrier he commanded. But tonight, the Navy upholding the firing of Captain Brett Crozier.
If Captain Crozier were still in command today, I would be relieving him.
A stunning reversal for Gilday, who earlier recommended Crozier be reinstated after an initial Navy investigation.
They did not effectively carry out our guidelines to prevent spread of the virus, and they failed to move sailors to available, safer environments quickly.
In a March letter, Crozier pleaded with Navy leadership to get his sailors off the ship due to the rapid spread of COVID-19 on board, writing, "We are not at war. Sailors do not need to die." After the memo leaked, Crozier was fired by then acting Navy Secretary Thomas Modly for allegedly going outside the chain of command. Modly flying to Guam, belittling Crozier over the ship's PA system.
If he didn't think that information was going to get out into the public, then he was A, too naive or too stupid to be the commanding officer of a ship like this.
That audio shared with the media site Task and Purpose, causing Modly himself to resign.
Investigators also reprimanding Crozier's boss, putting his promotion on hold, saying both men showed poor judgment. More than 1,000 sailors on that carrier tested positive for COVID-19, and David, one sailor died.
Kira Phillips with us from Washington. Thank you, Kira. Now to the battle between President Trump and his former National Security Advisor, John Bolton. Justice Department lawyers just today trying to convince a federal judge to block the release of Bolton's new book. So where does it stand? And the unexpected words today from President Trump's former acting chief of staff. ABC's Martha Raddatz, who landed the first interview with John Bolton, back on the story tonight.
Tonight, as President Trump fumes over John Bolton's book, a remarkable comment from former acting White House Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney, who is still serving in the administration.
If there was one criticism that I would level against the president is that he didn't hire very well. He did not have experience in running government and didn't know how to put together a team that could work well with him.
Bolton is only the latest member of Team Trump to turn against the president. In his new book, The Room Where It Happened, he portrays Trump as inept and singularly focused on his own reelection.
You described the president as erratic, foolish,
behaved irrationally, bizarrely. You can't leave him alone for a minute. He saw conspiracies behind rocks and was stunningly uninformed. He couldn't tell the difference between his personal interests and the country's interests.
I don't think he's fit for office. I don't think he has the competence to carry out the job. There really isn't any guiding principle that I was able to discern other than what's good for Donald Trump's reelection.
But Bolton himself now taking heat. Democrats are furious he was willing to tell all for his own book after refusing to testify in the House impeachment inquiry. Bolton argues the hearings were too politicized and Congress should have investigated Trump for additional possible impeachable offenses.
Well, it's quite a charade. I give him credit for sheer nerve, because what he is saying basically is there was malpractice in the impeachment because you should have investigated things that I was unwilling to tell you about.
The president's team livid. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo calling Bolton a traitor, accusing his former colleague of spreading lies, fully spun half-truths, and outright falsehoods. Administration lawyers are arguing Bolton's book contains classified information and should be blocked. Bolton denies this, and today a judge noted that copies are already in circulation, saying the horse seems to be out of the barn. No word yet on when he'll rule. David?
All right, Martha Raddatz with us again tonight. There's a lot more to this interview, and you can see Martha's full interview with John Bolton this Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on ABC. Martha will be watching. Thank you. When we come back tonight, more than 24 large wildfires burning at this hour, several communities evacuating, and the famous actor lost from Lord of the Rings and Chariots of Fire.
It's starting to happen every day. People are surprising themselves the moment they realize they can do more with less asthma. Thanks to Dupixent, the add-on treatment for specific types of moderate to severe asthma. Dupixent isn't for sudden breathing problems. It can improve lung function for better breathing in as little as 2 weeks and help prevent severe asthma attacks. It's not a steroid, but can help reduce or eliminate oral steroids. Dupixent can cause serious allergic reactions, including anaphylaxis. Get help right away if you have rash, shortness of breath, chest pain, tingling, or numbness in your limbs. Tell your doctor if you have a parasitic infection. And don't change or stop your asthma treatments, including steroids, without talking to your doctor. Do more with less asthma. Talk to your doctor today about Dupixent. If your financial situation has changed, we may be able to help.
All right, I brought in Ensure Max Protein to give you the protein you need with less of the sugar you don't. I'll take that.
30 grams of protein and 1 gram of sugar. Ensure